This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Good morning, everyone. This is the Thursday, March 21st, 2024 meeting of the Senior Center Building Committee. Welcome. We're missing Christina, who I would expect would be joining us shortly. So, first thing, open time for public comment. Anybody feel like the public today? No? Okay, good. So that was at 11:01, I think we called the meeting. So 11:02, okay. Approval of the minutes from March 7th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes, number 5.
From March
From
7th?
March 7th.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion on the minutes at all before we make a motion to approve? Or take a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, thank you. So, close that one already, that's good, moving right along. And close this one. So the correct, thank you Jerry again for pointing out the discrepancy between the perk test number, map number, and the article number, so we will, that has been corrected and submitted, so thank you also, Darcy, kind of reaching out for Barry to assist that moving along, just a typo or whatever, so that we do have the correct map number on the perk test, and we should be all set with the Board of Health on that. So,
Speaking of the
yes,
perk test, Donna was talking to a couple of women, Mary and Candy, yesterday or day
Okay.
before, and they are under the impression that the perk test failed.
well, the original one was not completed, so yeah, so there's always going to be. So she corrected them. Okay. Good.
So we know
Yes.
for sure this passed. I mean, I saw the box checked too. But
Yes.
What does Board of
Yes.
Health have to do to approve it? Is it done?
I think,
I would think so.
as far as I know, it was totally done.
Yeah, it was all set, except there was that, the wrong map in block, so that was corrected. Barry dropped it off last week.
I mean, is there any, other than the signatures, or any additional step they have to take? They don't really take in,
I don't know.
I'm asking Darcy, yeah.
No, they just need to sign it and put it
Okay.
in the file.
I mean, Charlie already signed it,
Not
right?
even, yeah, Charlie signed it, so they
But he
just
signed
need
the
to-
other one too, which
Yeah.
I think is the
They
question
just
mark.
need to accept it and be in their file.
Okay, all right, great. All right. So we're all set with that. Next step, so we did, and I did send, we did receive an appraisal. We have not had a chance to talk to the property owner, so I'd like to maybe have the board make a motion to give permission to the town administrator to negotiate with the owner at 89 Clark Street, and for the select board chair, along with the co-chairs, to meet with them in that negotiation. And Scott was sending a purchase and sale to Ryan, right?
Yeah, I'll send them an official notice as well.
Okay, so do we have a motion
I
to
make a
accept that?
motion
To move forward with that?
To move forward with the three of you calling a meeting with Ryan.
Four. if it's-
Four, sorry.
Okay, Scott's not a voting member, so
okay.
he doesn't count in our 7, so we can go with the 3 of us as
Okay.
members and not have a quorum, so.
Who's the three?
Chris Falls, Dennis,
All right.
and Janet.
You-
Do we,
Just back, sorry.
okay, go ahead. You want to finish the motion first?
No, go ahead.
Um,
Make a motion for you guys to negotiate with the landowner.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second?
Okay. Any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, great. So, before we move to the article, I guess, so where are we at, Scott, with, have we taken any steps towards reaching out to the owner at this point in time?
Not yet.
Okay,
Regarding
regarding the purchase and sale.
Has the title search come back yet? Because I noticed there was something in the appraisal that there was a question about.
There was.
Appraisal, is the appraisal on here? Yeah, there was a granting of a variance or special permit. Is that to somebody else or was it to a specific owner of that property?
We haven't received the title search yet, but hopefully.
Has it been requested? It was requested from...
It was, I think, requested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was going to, but I wasn't sure.
I had it in here that he did.
Okay,
Okay.
So not received yet.
so we don't have it back yet. And that goes to KP Law, correct?
That's right.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we weren't sure whether we needed to have it before or after, but if there's a question, I guess before is important.
I mean, everything will be contingent on having a good title,
Right,
so.
but as we move forward, even if we don't get it back in time, it'll be contingent upon that.
Exactly.
Yeah, even to move forward with the purchase and sale agreement and the negotiation, okay.
Did he do the survey?
The survey, we've had the survey, he sent us a survey from 2019.
It wasn't at the last meeting, it said.
Yeah, we
Was
weren't
gonna
sure, and
confirm.
actually it was the same one that was in the original, the perk test from 2019 had a survey in it.
Okay.
I mean, just basically, what we don't know are exactly where the pins are, and whether or not we could, either Ryan can work with us to find the pins, if he knows where they are, or have Heritage walk next door to show us where they put the pins.
And did we already request for them to do the wetlands delineation and the pins if needed?
Where?
No, I mean, I reached out to Concom to ask what the procedure was, and I didn't get an answer, but my understanding is it would be Heritage that would normally go before Concom with the plan.
So we would have to hire Heritage to do the wetlands delineation and then mark the pins.
I think so.
And then they would determine where the wetlands areas are to bring it to
To bring
Concom.
it to Concom.
Yeah.
You made a motion last time to
Yeah.
hire them. So who does that?
Okay. Then was I here? I missed
No,
it?
you weren't here last time. You weren't at the last
I remember
meeting,
that.
so.
Okay.
But yeah, we did,
So we need to reach out to Heritage, and we don't know what that might cost, so that was probably our challenge, to know what the wetlands delineation would be.
Right.
Who's reaching out?
so Scott would
Maybe
reach
Scott
out, yeah.
has to negotiate any of these contractual things. So maybe what we could do to keep it moving along, I have no idea what it would cost, but we could put in, just make a motion to allow the town administrator to use up to X amount of dollars to negotiate with Heritage Surveys to do the wetlands delineation. So to
Okay.
keep on moving rather than coming back to our next
Sure.
meeting. for approval.
And what, I don't have an idea of what would be an up-to number that would make sense.
Well, I mean, our appraisal didn't cost as much as we thought it would, so
The appraisal cost.
25,
25.
Invoice.
25.
2,500, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say,
I would think that they could do it for, you know, well, probably a few thousand to 5,000, but if,
So
It
up
shouldn't be
to,
more
up
than
to
5,000.
5,000.
No.
So do we have a
And they-
motion then to,
yeah, because they'll have everything on their computer from when
Right.
they did the survey.
do you think 5,000?
I would think it would be enough.
It's
I
a
mean,
1 day of field work. It's a
Yeah.
half a day of field
No,
work.
that,
Then they have
it's more
to do
than
the
the appraisal,
reports.
that's what I was thinking, it's like, is that really?
Yeah,
that
because
much
it's
to do?
it's
There's
a good
field
amount of
work.
work.
Yeah.
They have to go out.
And they have to go
Yeah,
submit a specific wetlands
For the RDA.
report. Yeah.
they'll have to flag where it is
Yeah.
and all that. It's not like a quick, easy.
So maybe a motion
I mean, it's not
relative
work.
to.
Are you
not to
making the
exceed
motion?
X amount. Can I make a motion?
yes, I think you can.
I'll make a motion to authorize the town administrator to use up to $5,000 to request Heritage Surveys carry out the wetlands delineation and present the RDA to the Conservation Commission.
What's RDA? What do you mean by
A
that?
request for determination of applicability.
Applicability, but is that what you're doing? Do you need to request the applicability now?
Well, it's either that or an NOI. I mean, I didn't know whether we had to do the wetlands thing now. That was.
Well, you don't have to do it now, we just want to know if there's any issues, but if you're doing a request for determination of applicability, I think you have to have a plan
Okay.
for your
So that's too soon.
layout.
Okay.
Okay,
So I think it's just to,
just to do the delineation and not.
I think, so we just wanted to know if there was any wetlands that are not apparent, like in the wet areas, because there might be.
Okay.
So,
All right, so I'll amend my motion backwards then. So to-
Before you do the amendment,
Yeah.
can I just add that while we're hiring them to be out there, that would
Pin
be
it.
the time to pin it, because
Okay.
they're already gonna be out there with their equipment.
Right.
So,
So to pin it, flag it, so it's not,
to do the pins.
yeah, if they can put a post in the pin so we don't have to
Yeah.
try to figure out
and
where
then
they're
they'll
at.
flag the wetlands
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, revised motion here, forget
And
the other
then
one.
also they need to survey those points, the wetlands delineation. They will need to survey them, so that is a little bit more time. Rather than just placing the flag, they need to have it surveyed for the drawing, so.
So
I
we're
think
still in a
5,000.
day?
I would
You
think,
still 5,000, I mean, do we want to give it a little
There-
cushion? I mean, are we cushiony enough at 5?
I mean, yeah, I guess it doesn't, it shouldn't be more than that, but
It
I
seemed
mean,
like
if
it
you
would be
wanted
enough.
to go, I know they're slow, so,
Well,
that would be.
I think they
fine.
understand some of the urgency, so.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll revise that.
Wow.
Make a motion.
Try
Glad
number
you could. I don't
3.
know where- I don't know where to start.
Where was I?
Yeah, exactly. So I'll make a motion to authorize the town administrator to use up to $5,000 from the Parsons Estate Fund that is available to us to request heritage surveys, do a wetlands delineation of 89 Clark Street, including pinning / flagging the parcel, or the, the corner boundaries of
Yes.
the
And
lot.
And the wetlands.
Survey wetlands.
And
flag
survey the wetlands
locations.
as flagged.
And I'm gonna look at this
If that's-
online.
This is why we record it.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
Second.
And would you like to reiterate
Who's
the
that?
second, the motion?
Don't ask me to repeat it.
Okay, any other discussion? We're
No.
good? All in favor?
Aye.
And I think we probably should, see if we can put a time frame on that as well, just to see, do we think we need this? This is more for our information. We're not sure that we really need it for timing, although it may impact our negotiation
It
price,
might.
right?
I would say.
Good.
I'd say sooner rather than later, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can, if we have to figure in something on the price.
If there was a surprise, if
Yeah.
there was wetlands,
Where the
that,
building's
Okay,
gonna be.
that's fair.
yeah, that could get into.
Sure.
And Scott says I'm not going to come to any more meetings because my list keeps growing.
Unfortunately, he's hit town at the time of 2 very big projects.
Yeah.
We didn't
Okay.
set a date or anything for meeting with Ryan, did we?
Not, we haven't set a date.
That's
No.
good, probably.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's kind of, it's a little bit moving, but.
Yeah, I'll send you the official letter, and it will enter negotiations and a draft purchase and sale.
Okay, great. And that would that be,
I'll run it by you before.
yeah, but just mailing wise, return receipt or whatever, so that he signs for it, is that how
It's
it
usually
would go up?
certified mail.
Certified mail, thank you. That was the phrase I was looking for. Okay, all right,
We
great,
can do that and simultaneously, I think, talk to the
Yeah.
Heritage and see if they can get moving.
great.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, we're not linear right now, huh? Okay, any other, just observation from the appraisal, like Darcy had the observation on that, anything else? Any comments at this moment? No. Okay, good. All right, let me just quickly pull up the, no, that's the wrong thing. Tell me I closed down the other thing, which is probably what I did. Yep. Okay, it's right here.
Here's on the screen.
What's that?
Here's on the screen. I don't know if you want it to be.
Yeah. This is for the warrant,
Oh,
okay?
gotcha.
For the article for the town meeting warrant, so,
Make that any bigger?
pardon me?
Can you make that any bigger?
Thought I did, sorry. Not big enough.
Senior citizens.
We were trying to get that stuff out. Yeah, we talked about, and I was hoping they would remove the senior citizens at the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
And
it could
they-
say
that-
for senior center?
For, yeah, or something, for a senior center, not for, I mean, senior citizens, is that housing, is that?
Yeah, right.
So it needs to be
Right.
for a new senior center or something. We're buying it, and now the senior citizens in town own it. Okay. And then the other thing, let me see what else. And the other, so the actual acreage is 7.24. I think his actual letter said 7.41 or something that he sent to you initially, a year ago or so ago. So
It was at one point, but is
Yeah.
that minus his,
I don't know if the 7.24 is minus the easeway,
Yeah.
you think?
yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Okay. Because I'm trying to remember
That's
exactly.
more than an
Those are
acre.
things we'd have to clarify when we.
No, it's 1,028 feet plus times 50.
That's all.
Yeah, the side, when you look at the survey, it's like 1,028, I think.
Times
feet,
50?
Times
Yeah, that's
50.
So it's
over an acre.
50,000.
So it's,
That's way over.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely-
43, so yeah, it's a little bit more than an acre, yeah, so that
43,260
can't be
per
that.
acre, so
Yeah.
it's over an acre, so
Yeah.
that.
So that doesn't address this. But that is as far as. Is there anything else in here? So we obviously looked at the first one last time, and then we met with Scott and kind of talked about that was too generic. We just needed to really make sure it stated that it was going to be, the purchase was going to be from, does it say it in here about, I think the,
Well, I got just a quick
Just-
question. I don't know if the lawyers made that distinction. Given that this is coming out of the
Right.
estate, do we have to say by purchase, gift, eminent domain, or otherwise? Can we not just say to acquire by gift?
They did add that back in, so. I-
okay, you have an updated one?
Yeah.
Okay.
and- But they were okay with adding said acquisition to be funded by monies donated by the estate of David Parsons.
Okay.
Oh,
Good.
Okay.
Just specify what money else.
Yeah, and then to take out for general municipal purposes.
They were okay with that. If there is going to be a different use in the future, it would just have to be voted on.
Okay.
Because that's up in the article itself, municipal purposes, so that would go away.
So
Yep.
would that have to be taken out because of the state?
Can't be, can it say?
It- Yeah, that's why we're taking it out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
We're
are
gonna
taking it
remove
out.
for general
Remove,
municipal,
okay,
yes.
yeah.
Because
I didn't get that impression.
No, is it coming out?
I didn't get that impression from Scott.
Yeah, I thought that was, I think that based on how
I
the
thought he
money
said they
was
were happy
gifted.
with it.
No, he's got a revised version, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Where we took out general municipal
Oh, we did,
purposes.
yeah.
Because the estate is only for
Yeah.
right.
Right.
the senior center. So there's
Yes.
no way that.
So it'd be for a senior center,
Right.
not a senior citizens
A
center.
senior center.
Can we do a
Yeah.
senior?
Citizens, right.
It's a senior
The,
center.
I think their notion was sort of plan ahead, that, should there be something down the line, you wouldn't have to come back to town meeting again if there was some other use that came along from parks or somebody else, and you had extra space that you could, also give off to another entity in town, but they
That's not the
understand,
intent, yeah.
they understand the whole, estate issue now, so I don't think that's.
I'm sorry, did you send me the revised one and I, Missed it somewhere?
I can resend it right now, though. Which was the best email?
the COA board, I guess, is the best one. Try to keep things in town, otherwise I won't get it for a few days.
We're not dealing with Utah anymore, the list is gone. Shouldn't take as long to get in there. Oops.
Just sent over.
Okay. Has not arrived. Oh, let me see. Make sure I'm in the inbox.
Is that it?
Okay. Okay. Make this view larger again.
Yep.
Hi, Christina.
Sorry we didn't wait.
No, I tried to get out of there, but I couldn't do it.
Okay.
This is the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to park like almost up on
Yeah.
Maple Street.
You may as well start walking.
Well, I
Just
could
close
have
that one
done
on the right. yeah, the X
It's
on the
too
right
cold.
column.
What's that?
Just close the X on the right, that gray column.
I know there's no X there.
Yeah, it should be.
Oh,
I don't know why it's,
let me double check that's the right
there we
edit.
go.
Oh, 1 second, actually. That might be just the seconds.
I don't know why it's giving me a hard time there, but it's
So
not,
this is a simple majority.
yes.
And you just put your cursor
Still
on the
have
edge
that.
of the line?
I think if you click
You
on
move
the
it over?
format up above, Janet, see the format box right there? No.
No, I did that. Oh, there it
There you
is.
go.
I thought I did that before and it didn't do it. Okay. I just
Let me
clicked on
send you
it.
one more email. I think that was the second to last.
Okay.
They still have senior citizens in the
Yeah.
title there.
Okay.
Well, it still has general
After you got
municipal
it all.
purposes in it.
Yeah.
Now you know how to do
That's
it.
it.
Okay, now it should be the right one. Similar file names.
Yeah, unless they put, version 1, 2, 3 or something on them, or date them, I don't know how to keep them straight. No, it's still there.
No, no, it's,
Oh, no.
That's a legion.
What is this council on aging?
If the highlighted in yellow is just the general municipal uses which we can take out. And then they did move the account number just to the, a little further down.
So we have to check on the acreage.
yeah, I mean, the 7.24, I think that's, where would they've gotten their acreage from? Do you know? Is that what we sent to them?
Probably.
You're thinking that's not right?
Well, the original offer was for 7.41.
You have the survey that's attached to the perk?
It says
Yeah,
it
somebody's
in the-
looking up the survey, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking at the appraisal, 7.24.
Yeah, the appraisal was 7.24.
Yeah, but I don't have the survey.
So the original offer when we started asking landowners, is that what you mean?
Yes.
We're gonna start bringing our computers.
I know.
Yeah, 7.41 is in his letter to
So
us.
the survey has it as 7.238.
Wow, there's
Okay.
Other different number.
But that's.
Close enough, they rounded up.
Okay.
What?
All right.
So the survey has...
Plus or minus.
Huh?
Yeah, let's go plus or minus.
Yeah.
Plus or minus,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Okay,
So
so the
it's good.
survey has 7.38? Or 28?
238.
2.38, so it's
Oh,
2.4, so
2.38.
that's
So
Okay.
it's, yeah.
So that's-
And then they're covered by saying more or less.
Right,
next.
right, okay.
Is council on aging correct?
It could be.
I mean, as an entity,
As an entity,
right? We're the
yeah.
ones,
It is an entity.
yeah.
I mean, the town is making the purchase, right? But it's, the purpose is for a new senior center, which they added citizens in the body in red. So if we could take that out. Is this, so what, explain this to me again, Scott? So some things are in and some things are out?
Yeah, so like if purchase eminent domain, that's something that they put in.
Yep.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was in blue.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you're showing the red line edits.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a little hard to see that.
And they added back in citizens, but that's.
They crossed out citizens, they
Donated.
They added it.
Here they added
Okay.
citizen down here.
Mine's a little bit, looks a little bit different. I don't think it has all the crossed out versions.
Okay. I thought this is what you sent to me.
Sometimes Word will,
Yeah, I have
Display different
pages, so,
things.
you know, I don't have words, so
Oh,
it may have,
okay.
Yeah,
you know,
so we
messed some
have
things up.
that same. The Mac.
Should I
You
just
and your
accept
Mac.
that, or?
Yeah.
So you think they crossed out citizens there, Scott? What's in red? Or-
do you want to connect?
Yeah, you want to connect? You probably have a HDMI on your port on you. Make sure I get it the direction. There you go.
Here we go.
Yeah, they have citizens in there.
So right here, this is, they reinserted gift purchase, and they moved the use of funds by the estate down here and did it said acquisition. And then I have the account number from Bradley. They did, yeah, the senior citizens, I just added that just now.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
So we're taking that out.
We can keep that in there.
I don't like.
We don't want citizens.
I think we don't want.
Oh, you don't want citizens?
No, no.
Just
we
let it
want
be senior center.
Just a senior center.
Okay.
Yeah,
You just.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
And should it be,
And then general municipal purposes, that can be deleted.
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that's the said acquisition, that's just emphasizing that's from the donation. And the same thing down here, use the assessor's map, general municipal purposes, which can be deleted and will be.
Okay.
And then the said acquisition from the Parsons estate.
Okay. So there's no, is there a spot to fill in dollar amount, or will we not put a dollar amount on the article
I
when we get there?
don't think it needs a dollar amount because you
Okay.
already have the funding.
Okay.
So it's just authorizing the
I mean, the town
purchase
isn't
of.
gonna tell you how much you can spend on it, I don't think.
Right?
Okay, okay. That's good to know. That won't hold things up then.
think
Like
that
with the
would
other
help.
building, we would have to have a dollar amount.
Right, because you're borrowing.
Yep.
That's all right. Was that me or you?
It restarted.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
because I know the article's due today, so I just want to make sure it's tight, you know?
Yeah, I think, we'll work on it.
It's due
It's
Still
on
gonna
there.
have some tweaks on it probably.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just
Still
kidding.
gonna go
Okay.
another
He sent
time.
out an email the other day, don't forget articles are due March
Yeah.
21st. I'm like, oh dear.
Well, we need a couple weeks to go back and forth still with the lawyers on all the articles to
Mhm.
make sure that they're all correct.
So when is it?
The earlier the better.
When is it due?
Well, the target was to have articles in today.
It's gotta be, we need to vote on it when it comes back from lawyers. Select board has to vote on it, and
So
then
this
it's gotta be
time that's
posted by the constable at least a week before the meeting. So kind of our date at select board is gonna be middle of April probably, or third week of April at the latest to vote on it. And make sure we've got all the articles from town meeting. There'll be probably 20, 30 articles.
Trying to keep them all straight, right, Scott?
Yep.
Something's going on. I apologize. Some technical difficulties.
Makes me feel better. It's not just me.
This one should be it, yep. Deleted citizens.
So so we're taking out other general municipal, we're in both places, and we move the, okay, set up businesses to be funded by monies, okay. I know we go back and forth between, how do we refer to, is it the senior center, or is it the council on aging, and
Yep.
we go back and forth on that, right, Christine, all the time, so.
You can do senior center?
Senior center would be,
I would think that would be
I think
consistent.
that's clear,
That's
yeah.
clear.
It's clear, and that's what he had. in
That's what he
his-
asked, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
We're going to delete senior citizens after that,
Yeah,
aren't we?
right. it's
Yeah.
deleted.
Yeah, it's got the line through it now, so. Anything else, folks? Can we just say, for the, I guess, and maybe this is just picky-uni, for the motion, for the site of a future senior center or a new senior center, or does it not matter that much for the site of a senior center? I guess it kind of says it all.
I would,
so.
yeah, I'd kind of leave it just the way
Yeah, keep it
is.
simple, yep.
Yeah.
Because then there will be just a little paragraph summary that will be on the warrant too, that will explain in more simple terms to anybody, you know, what it's for. So there you could say, you know, after having gone through, you know, the feasibility study process, et cetera, 89 Clark Street is our chosen site for a future senior center.
Yeah, and that's, I think,
So,
Darcy, Dennis, and Christina have been working on some
yeah. But I mean,
strategy.
there will be a paragraph, just like that.
Oh, there will be
Okay,
a
that says-
paragraph there too.
About
Okay.
like three or four sentences explaining it to the people, not going through all this legalese stuff. Telling
Right.
them what does this really mean in simple language rather than.
Okay, then legalese, sort of, versus legalese.
What does it bring it down to, the 7th grade reading level? Is that what it is now?
Well,
I forget what it is.
Make it understandable.
Most newspapers are 8 now. In the 1870s, they were 12.
Well,
Yeah.
it says it all.
And usually, yeah, every time you do more, yeah. Right, and so we don't know which article this will be yet.
Yeah, I think there is a bit of a request, if it's possible, to keep it early in the agenda.
Yeah, I was
This is
actually
a
going
very-
to email you and Scott about that, if there was any leeway about, so that we could, because there would be concern about nighttime driving. Won't be so much a concern at getting there, but if it, I didn't know if there was any leeway about getting it earlier on the agenda.
Oftentimes, we do the budget items first,
Yeah.
but we can talk about that.
I was gonna email you anyway, so, since it came up.
Yeah, I figured it would come up here, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've had people mention also. that
right, that this was a concern.
This is a concern for driving.
Yeah, both of us have gotten those comments, so.
So we'll definitely put it as early as possible.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you, yes.
So I'm going to ask the little subcommittee here. that Everybody got confused. Scott said to me, do we have a meeting on Tuesday? I'm like, no.
Oh,
No.
Just because it said
oh
we did, we
yeah,
don't.
on the,
Yeah, yeah.
I know, it's
So-
that.
And Scott, we did verify that it's simple majority on this one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a 2/3, yeah.
Right.
That was,
So you want to, who's going to lead your group to give us an update on thoughts
So
about?
do they outline, I don't know how much time we're going to have to talk. That was sort of,
I don't think there's
critical.
a time restriction, but,
well, you don't want to make it too
We would
long.
think
Right,
like
right.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
thing.
no, I mean, so if you're gonna have handouts, you know, that's
Which is what-
what,
yeah.
gotta get into Lucy ahead of time.
Yeah.
And she'll give them to Robert, I believe, so that the two of them.
Okay,
Or whatever.
that out.
that's by the Thursday.
But then that night, you know, one of us at the select board will read the article, or, sorry, will read the motion. And then Robert will ask who would like to speak to, you know, for or against it. So you guys would most likely, somebody would step up to the mic and speak for it, and there could be more than one person that speaks for it, obviously.
yeah.
But, I mean, I would think that would be your occasion to explain what you want to explain.
Sort of thought was on it, was doing like handouts with like past, present, future.
That's how we broke it
So
down.
that we could kind of, you know, and keeping it short, obviously, but in the presentation, having the past, like, how did we get here? We kind of earmarked a few pages in the
Feasibility.
feasibility study
Okay.
to put on, like, page 1, page 2, page 3 of the handouts. So, you know, and then when we get up and speak after the warrants read, we could do a short, like, 5 minutes. You know, we got here, this is how we got here.
Came to the decision about 89 Clark.
Right, this is where we are, and this is the future, that we're getting started with the land, and that's a multi-tiered process to move forward, you know, and we kind of gotten a little more specifics for the handouts. But could of course shorten it up because, yeah, I was thinking probably 5 minutes or less. I don't think we want to be up
Yeah.
there for.
I mean, most
very long
handouts,
time.
unless you had like 2 handouts, I mean, most handouts have been like a double-sided page, or maybe a couple pages, so I mean, it doesn't have to be long.
But if that's what, if we want a little more information out there, because I mean, again, we didn't have a huge turnout of the public.
Right, and we were
Committee meeting.
kind of thinking by putting in some of the photos that we had talked about, they were showing, you know, the 89 Clark with the building kind of placed there in the
Mhm.
test area, and then what the test building would look like.
Mhm.
Not that this is going to be our building, but this gives you an idea of what we're looking at. And then we had a few pages to go along with, you know, showing, there was one nice one of the outdoors with the fire pit, because we thought that would bring in, younger people could associate themselves sitting outside in a fire pit versus thinking this is only going to be for 90 plus, you know. And then there was some pictures of like the gym. We didn't really think some of the more, my brain is not working today. Well, they had more like a city look of things, you know, some of their pictures.
Yeah, some of them were,
were
wasn't
more-
like the
It
look and
didn't
feel
fit
of
the
Southampton,
It didn't
right,
fit the
right.
feel here, so those we didn't think were worth
Right.
putting in, but just kind of to show like a nice gym, so people could see themselves and like, yeah, that's something I would use, versus kind of getting that mindset.
Or even the workout room or something like that.
Yeah, because we're not gonna have tons of time to speak, and honestly, a lot of times people don't read, but they look
Right.
at photos.
Look at pictures.
So-
Right. So the debate was, you know, how much time do we want to spend on sort of past, what Darcy was talking about, present, sort of like what you presented to the school, to the select board, maybe just a quick.
Right, the
These are-
current
I don't know how many
challenges.
people are going to be there who know nothing about the senior center, sort of, you know, it's, the audience is kind of critical to how we steer
Right,
this, I
just a
think.
brief overview about how
What
this
we're
is
doing.
actually needed because there's space issues and we can't grow and we can't, and it's a problem now, and so that's the present would be.
And maybe
yeah.
some data thrown in there too.
Yeah,
You know, I think people do need to know that a third of the people are 60 and over
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Southampton, so.
Because I think that, you know, I mean, the room can no more, it's like limited to 75 people. Max.
Yeah.
That's the limitation of the room downstairs. We have 2,000 seniors. We have one activity at a time, so, you know, that kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, some of those highlights that people wouldn't necessarily, you know, they've never been in there, so they would have no idea about.
But that would be good to put as bullet points on your handout.
Yeah,
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 that's what-
that, yeah, that would be the
Yeah.
present, you know.
You know, and if we could, I don't know, I couldn't find it, but if we had, I think we had gotten the information on how much they had grown.
Yes, I asked
You
her
did ask
yesterday.
already.
Yeah.
I
Did
mean,
you
I
ask her?
think every
Yes.
new senior center has 2 to 3 times more
Right.
people
So
participating.
that's even good, just to
That's-
make a
that's-
general, you
That's
know,
our future look.
Right.
yeah.
they've doubled or tripled, you know, their usage since putting a new senior center.
And they've probably
in.
started with something bigger than what we have
Right.
today.
Well, right.
Is parking usually an issue? Because
It is.
I took the last parking.
More and more, it is.
What's going
yes.
on today? Yeah.
When there's, which luckily we got very little of, but when there was snow, because as you can
Yeah.
see, people have to park on the road, and yes, it's a big
In the
issue.
dirt.
Yep.
Healthy Bones and Balance, the Veterans Coffee Hour,
Yeah.
and nails.
Yeah.
That's what's going on today. Yes.
They're all at the
And
same
and the
time.
tech guys are there,
Oh, the
so
tech
there
guys
was
are
a
here.
million, that's why I couldn't
So,
get out
yeah,
of there.
one ends, the other one begins, so like bumper to bumper to bumper.
Some people
So
don't
that's-
like have their toes being worked on in public.
So
Yeah.
they have a screen up there.
So are you
so-
guys looking at using color photos from the report?
Yeah, yeah.
From the feasibility report, yeah.
And then are you also a board?
Yeah, we were thinking a board of the placement of it on site because we were turned down with the PowerPoint, so
Yeah.
you know, we can't have too many boards, you know, we're trying to.
Yeah, and it's hard
But
to
at least
see.
we were thinking like maybe even something like that size of showing
Yeah.
the property.
2 by 3, yeah.
Yeah, with the test site.
So I mean, I
The
just
test
financially, we just
Yeah.
have to make sure that we're,
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
Let's
exactly.
get some photos.
have the money
or
to do
something.
it, yeah,
Have the money to do what?
to make all these color, multiple colored.
Oh, I can print it.
yeah, I mean,
But we could,
I
have
was
some
looking
poster
for
board, we could
volunteers,
probably
thank you.
borrow a couple easels from the school.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, we probably need 100 or so,
Okay, we'll just
150.
I mean, we
put them on.
Yeah,
a couple
that's all.
posters.
do that, but I just
We
thought certain
considered
people could see it,
Yeah.
you know?
So when people come into the gym,
Yeah,
this, people are sitting there to take down people's names and figure out what
Right.
street they're on. So everybody will pick up their packet of stuff as they
Yes.
enter.
Right,
So
right.
somewhere between there and the front is probably maybe where you want some signboards, I don't know.
And how many people usually are at the town meeting?
We've had about 150, but hard to know. This may drop, annual town meeting should drop. I'd say probably no more than 200. That would be astonishing, frankly, but I'd say around 150 would be reasonable to
Is the
expect.
public safety gonna be on this, ready for the?
There will be something there, probably, yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking about what would attract people to
Yeah, no,
specifically come to
yeah,
this
no,
one.
those- yeah. Just in general for an annual meeting versus a special.
Yeah.
We would expect more, so I would certainly think about 150-ish would be a
Yeah,
good number.
yeah.
Because there's a lot more business to be done on an
Yeah.
annual meeting than there is on a special.
Voting for the whole budget in general, it
Yeah.
brings people,
Yeah.
so.
So I'm thinking it would be a number of people like that, yeah.
Anything else on the warrant that bring other people as well? Besides the-
Safety be on there?
Well, yeah,
Well, that's what I
between
was
those
just
two
saying,
things,
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe a couple of just typical articles from community preservation, yeah.
Yeah,
A couple of bylaws, 2, 3 bylaws, mostly budget and interdepartmental transfers.
okay,
So a lot of it's financial.
okay. Okay, nothing,
Planning
Will
board
it
only
be a
has
financial
one
discussion
request.
about those?
what's that again?
Planning board only has one
One
request.
request, okay.
Will the discussion from the public safety be financial, like request for money?
We're determining that now.
yeah.
We'll know that better after we meet on
Because that
Tuesday.
might be,
Yeah.
some people, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some people.
Yeah.
It most likely
Oh, you were asking
will
for more money.
ask for something,
I
yes.
saw them surveying it this week.
They were out surveying. Yep.
I got the ANR last night, so.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so will you,
So-
go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you want us to put together like a bullet points with, and insert the pictures so that we kind of have a rough idea? And then
Yeah, I
we can
think that
kind of
would be good.
Have it
Yeah.
for our next meeting.
For our next
so
meeting,
everybody
if you
can
could,
go
yeah.
Send it out.
Yeah.
We
Have a
can
draft
look at it.
handout.
Yeah, and that, yeah, okay, you can email all that ahead of time.
Yeah.
Get that
I mean,
together.
we planned out a general idea of what we were gonna talk about, but yeah, we still need to go to the next step of
Yeah.
kinda,
Yeah.
more formalizing
Okay.
it.
And you're
So-
thinking the big, that size
For
would be
that,
like
yeah.
the property with the new location?
Yeah.
Because not everybody's gonna know where 89
Yeah,
Clark Street is,
yeah.
so.
Right, so maybe, I don't know,
Yeah, if you have it, the only question I had about that is that
it
when
shows
they
the septic.
positioned it,
Yes, we
they
need to wait that out.
positioned
Yeah.
the kitchen in the closest to Clark Street. And I'm just wondering, due to the issues of perk and everything else, whether that would be positioned the
Yeah.
other
I
end.
mean, I think
Maybe we
that-
don't even put the interior layout on there.
Yeah.
You know, the exterior.
Well, I don't know if we have one
Because
without
it
it.
showed like the rooms.
But you can do the layout without having it positioned on the property, right?
Oh, yeah, I was thinking of just positioning it so people could visualize.
Just
but yeah, you
not
could-
showing that that's the kitchen down there, because, yeah, I mean, that's just, again, a high level.
Yeah, and as you
Yeah,
get an
we'll stress
architectural firm,
that.
that may all change.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
That, this is just a, I think, and that's the. one-
That would be the-
That would
Right,
be the
yeah.
important part to put,
That it fits.
test
Right.
fit.
Right,
This
right.
is approximate,
Right.
just to give people an idea, and it's not the building that we are
Yeah, we have to stress that.
finalizing.
We want to stress that.
People will
Yeah.
Where it's
latch on to
located,
that and
where it's
expect
located
that.
on the property
Right.
is not where
Is
it's
subject
going to
to
be.
change. This is
Yes.
just,
Yeah.
Would we use Abacus's map with their name on it? I mean, it's our property.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I mean,
our, that's
I
the
think it,
town.
I think
it's
it
the
is an
town's-
abacus map, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think, we paid for it, so
Right.
Yeah,
we
yes.
we
Okay.
can use it, I would think.
it's on the website, I mean, people have it anyway,
Right.
so, if they want it.
I think, yeah, it'd be good to see a draft of.
And the comments about 89 Clark, white people at the community meeting,
That's, would be in our
That- is
past
that- okay.
section.
That's why we're
As to-
pushing that.
Right, the
Yeah,
past
okay,
is
good, good.
It's
explaining
not these
how we
three
got.
people who came up with this idea, you know,
Right.
it's a whole bunch of people who aren't even here over
Right.
2 years.
Right,
you
and
know,
then the
that kind of stuff.
architects agreed
Right.
and all, these, whoever else, but, right, that's the
but it was
past
a community
section
that told us this.
Right, that's how we came to 89 Clark.
Yeah, okay,
Um,
good.
And then again, the present is you know, talking about what's currently going on, and then obviously the future is this
Okay.
whole.
Is it okay to say that about 1% of the budget goes to the senior citizens,
Seniors,
seniors?
the older adult center.
Wow.
Um,
You gave me 3 options there. What's that?
What does
old
that
people.
mean to the Council on Aging or
Yeah.
to upkeep of the senior center?
Well, see, that's just
That's why I'm
basically
asking the question.
our budget. It doesn't count, the maintenance that is the
Yeah.
overhead. It doesn't cover the overhead.
So that's why I'm asking, should
So I
just
wouldn't-
avoid
I
that?
wouldn't-
Just avoid that?
I don't know,
Yeah,
it's an
maybe it's
interesting
not-
I mean, it's a
stat.
powerful
It is,
stat.
yeah, it's a very-
Of course, then you
It's-
get this question, well, what are other towns doing? I
I
don't
mean,
know
you
what
could
the
say,
answer to that.
if you use the word dedicated monies, 1% of money's dedicated, to the senior center, not counting the overhead is obviously additional costs, but,
Well, you could say senior center operations or something like that, which could be, expenses, salaries, could be everything, right? You could just-
Right, but, and we would say, obviously, currently, right, because,
And somebody might ask, how much is it gonna be in the future?
I mean, maybe after the finance.
So that was our.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
So that was our thought,
Maybe
it was like,
Yeah.
how did we get here as like the past? How did we get to this point? And then
Yeah.
the present of where we're at. So we're asking for money, or asking not for money, we're asking for approval to purchase the land. So now we can start our next step with, we have the money to start a design and, the next architectural steps to get moving forward.
Yeah.
And then, that also kind of tie in there that we can now start grants, we can start fundraising, et cetera. We have the site. We can
Right.
start moving forward. And then in the future, part of it, put in there that, this is something that we're purchasing the land now. Land's always going to go up, it's never going to be there. So this is a multi-tiered step. We don't expect this to be built in a year.
Right.
This is just so that people understand that we're not, we'd like it built in a year, but, it's, I don't want people, I think what, the thoughts were not to scare people, like we're going to be
Right.
coming out
Taxes.
after you.
yeah.
Right
Especially with the
away.
public safety.
Right,
Yeah.
that this is kind of.
Yep.
Well, it might help, I don't know, with the checklist that Scott had developed, the various steps involved in terms of land acquisition. Maybe that was public safety, did it come here too? I don't know.
No, I'm like, what is it?
There's a couple of other steps.
Did I miss another email? Yes.
Yeah.
Override something.
Yeah, but I mean, here though, we'd still have to have an owner's project manager, we'd still have to hire an architectural firm. I mean, some of those steps are still also relevant here.
Right.
Might
Yeah,
be
Yep.
that'd be helpful.
able to be woven in just to sort of.
Just kind of do a next step, future thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here's the next 4 steps that we have to do or something like that.
Right.
And we might have to, I don't know, your thoughts about whether we have to sort of briefly re-explain the estate to people. Do people,
Oh,
I mean, just the fact that,
I think
just a
we had talked
reminder.
about putting that in the past.
Or maybe,
Right.
okay.
Right.
Right.
Because it
Something, I
explains,
mean,
like,
where we got, yeah.
People know, but.
how
a
we
lot of
got
people may
here.
not- Yeah.
But I think,
exactly,
brief,
Just making it clear that it's dedicated
it's-
only for this purpose.
Yes.
Because you know there's going to be a
Oh, yeah.
people.
Yep,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that comment's got to come across clear. that-
Right.
And even if
Use it
we
for the
read
public
something
safety
from the
building.
estate, this is what was stated.
Yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Those
Yeah,
words.
I think, put together a draft or something for next meeting, that would be great. And we can-
That's
Yeah,
what we'll have
maybe
to do.
just state that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very important.
The will.
Gotcha.
Well,
Yeah.
All right, yeah, if you,
I'm sure somebody will be there with the will to read it.
Oh,
anyway.
yes. I'm, anyway. Yes, okay. Okay, great. So, you think you'll have something outlined then next meeting, and if you need any?
We'll have to,
Yeah, we can have
We'll have
that,
the
meeting.
yeah, have it put together for the next meeting and then.
So do we need, for next on the list, the purchase and sale agreement, it's a pretty standard agreement, right? That's nothing that we necessarily have to review together as a group, but we'll target getting that out. Do you have a kind of a realistic date in mind when you think you'll have it in the mail? just out of curiosity?
Oh, to Ryan?
Yeah,
Probably early next week.
okay.
And I probably missed this, so I apologize, but did you guys talk about negotiation steps?
Yes, we did.
Okay,
We-
all right.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Okay, so the title search, we talked about that. Anything else in next steps that we've missed? We're doing the wetlands, we're gonna do the, getting the pins marked, the appraisal's done, the title search has to be done,
Wetlands.
the wetlands, yeah.
Yeah, we'll check on the
Okay.
progress of the title search. and
one of
see
the-
Michelle and Monday and
One of the action items said that you're going to confirm whether it says whether the town meeting article should include only the purchase price or also legal fees and closing costs, so there's no mention of it.
So there's no pricing in there?
Yep, okay, so I'm deleting that action item.
And it's all coming from the estate,
Yep.
so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So again, working to get our supporters to the town meeting. I mean, our supporters aren't all over 60. You know, I know you were looking at getting a list of people from 50 to
Yeah.
59
We did get
because
that.
they'll
You got
be-
that?
Yeah.
that, as we lose people on the top end,
Right.
we're gaining quite a number of people, and we want to, you know, appeal to them as well.
Yeah.
Because by the time it's completed,
Yes.
some of them will be in their 60s.
Yes.
And other of us will still, hopefully still be in our 70s. And any other, so the Frida van, I mean, have we tried to work out anything,
I
any of the
mentioned
drivers
it,
available, or?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it briefly to both drivers.
Mhm.
Nothing is set, I should say,
Okay.
yet, but they're aware of that date, and both of them actually said, just let me know, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we just need to kind of formalize what that might look like, maybe.
I mean, someone may never take us up on it.
Right, no, I want the
Yeah, I
offer,
think it's a good
yeah.
offer to
Yeah.
have out there for people to have the choice of.
If you don't have any other mode of transportation. So if we can kind of firm that up, that would be great.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else as far as recruiting folks downstairs? We need to make sure we get the word out, and I don't know if there's, I haven't seen the newsletter yet. Is there anything in April about the
I
annual
have a
town
little
meeting?
blurb about the date, time, and basically come out to support the, I forget how I worded it.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
So in April's, it will maybe be even more about talking about the van available or
Right.
whatever. But right now, but it's still a little reminder about
Yeah,
it
okay.
on the front page, so,
For the April newsletter?
yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right, yeah, and then, I mean, I don't know if you want to put in there, let us, if you have a need for transportation, let us know, or?
Yeah, I can try to
should we-
That wouldn't be bad, because then you could at least have an idea, or do you
Yeah.
need?
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't want to wait
What-
till May 1st, and,
No, no, yeah,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
that's true. That's-
not saying that people will respond immediately, but, you
We have
know,
an early sign-up list.
yeah.
Do you have a sign-up
Get
list
an
at
idea whether it's
the,
worth having the
senior
drivers.
center?
present.
We can, we'll
Not
create.
yet, but we'll,
Yeah,
yeah.
once the
Yeah.
newsletter goes out and stuff. Okay. So I keep this on the agenda about any thoughts on grant opportunities or fundraising. Sat and I talked a little bit about Chicopee and how do you create a capital campaign committee. Do you want to share what?
Yeah. So I reached out to Rachel Flam, who's the current treasurer, whose father, Ernie, was on the Friends of the Council on Aging Board to establish the senior center in Chicopee. So it turns out that essentially it was more of a unofficial commitment from the Friends for, I think, around $2 million to the city, and the city fronted all the costs for the building with a few federal grants, but, so that's how they structured it. So there wasn't really anything contingent on the Friends raising a certain amount of money.
Okay, but there wasn't a separate capital campaign committee or anything
No, it
like
was
that?
done by the Friends.
Okay. And did they hire an outside, consultant to help work with them on how the best way to raise that kind of money?
It was mostly done by the former treasurer and former mayor costs. So
Okay,
they kind of had a lot of good business ties in the
Okay.
community already.
So there's no formal committee.
So the Friends still had to raise the $2 million to pay back the town, sort of. Yeah.
Exactly.
So the town upfronted the money, but then got reimbursed by the Friends.
But I'm guessing, well, if they say they didn't raise 2 million, they still would have been covered. The town wouldn't have been like, oh, we're not, you know.
No, it was already built.
Right, oh, well then, yeah, so.
It was like 2 years.
So I think that's important to make clear that
They
it
did have
was.
like a lot of larger donations, like Polish National donated like $500,000, a few other.
I mean, they're headquartered in Chicopee.
Yeah, they're in
It
Chicago.
was actually right across the road from.
But they are in Southampton.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have a
So,
Southampton
but-
branch, but, yeah. And any other, Wellesley or anybody, or any of the other towns you worked with that had experience?
So with Wellesley, it was actually the Tolles Parson was similar to this situation where, I forget the names, but it was Tolles Parsons, the two people that donated the money to acquire the land. And then it was done by just regular funding through the town.
To the town, okay. So no
So borrowing or
outside.
something. Remember how long it was? How many years?
That I don't know.
We had
I mean, there's-
two at our smaller meeting, you know, East Hampton, I don't know if any of you were familiar with, like, the elf balls that they used to have, was for East Hampton Learning Foundation. So every year, they would do, you know, a ball, and local businesses would donate things, you'd buy tables, and for people and, you know, businesses and people, and have, you know, we're a little smaller community, but maybe look into getting something like that. And then when they reached their funding goal, they ended that. So maybe talk to Southampton, if, you know, there's an off-season that they have, that we could set up something.
Talk to
And
the
Southampton Country Club?
Oh.
You know, and maybe see, like, in their, if they have an off time that, you know, we could do maybe get a smaller version going, you know, and things grow as they.
You mean as a ball, as a,
You
or
know,
some, an event,
as an
fundraising
event, like, you
event?
know, whether it be like, you know,
Okay.
dinner dancing, or, you know, I mean, I've seen other towns do like a casino night, or different things to raise funds, you know, but kind of get something going, you know, if we could get
Yeah.
something going.
I did one for a comedy club for the PAMAS Challenge.
Yeah,
So-
yep, something, you know, like that. And if we, like I said, time it, maybe they donate their space
November is when he starts talking to that,
to.
because I've done that.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so that would, you know, maybe see if we could get something.
Okay. That's a good idea. And I'm just curious from this group, what they feel a realistic number is. So Chicopee did 2 million. I don't know what Wellesley did. I think Holyoke did 1 million. Maybe Westfield did 2 million, you know, so
As a goal,
is what they, yeah, is their goal. So,
Should we start with 1 million? I mean, I think for 2 million, those are bigger communities.
can we do 2 million? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. That's the hard part, is you don't want to overshoot, and you
Right.
don't want to under.
undershoot, yeah.
And 1.5 doesn't make sense.
Should we just, could we?
I mean,
like
do you
in
try to
our
match
regional-
Red's donation and do 2.4?
That's an idea.
That's an idea.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good thing, a good way to put it.
You know, just thinking out loud.
Be a good stretch.
That would
Be a very good
that's a
stretch.
stretch. That's a stretch.
I mean, it would be a nice thing to be able to do.
Right,
It's
I
a
know.
little scary in terms of the
Yeah.
amount of money.
It's a lot of money.
I mean, that's a 2 to 3 year project right there,
Yes.
right?
I would think for that much money, it'd
Yeah.
be a
Sure.
little more than that. That would be a.
Hmm. I mean, that's just an idea I'm throwing out there. I'm
Yeah,
not saying
for a
we should
small
do it, it's just,
community, I mean, if you look at like Westfield and Chicopee did 2 million. and
Yeah.
You see
With
the
the
other.
But what they have, all kinds of.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, right, and, yeah,
Yep.
it seems like that.
well, think about it, because the, you know, the Friends will probably come up with a number, but, you know, I
Yeah, I think they
think
will.
people have to be comfortable with that, you know, very comfortable with that, so, like us. And grants funding, and we'll see what the grant committee can help us with. No, we're not
Yeah.
quite there yet, because we have to get the land,
I was
right?
gonna
So
say,
that
once
has
we
to.
have the
Once you have
land,
the
is when
land,
we
then
can
there's-
start that
that's right. Yep.
process.
Okay, so, Anything else that we didn't cover today that we need to cover?
I was just gonna, if we break the presentation to past, present, future, should the Friends be part of the future in terms of, should they be brought in as the future's fundraising also, right? So, rather than just, should they be brought into that? Do they want to be brought into that
I
discussion?
think that we talked about the different, we had kind of mentioned like start fundraising, private, corporate, and applying for grants.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
So
that
Friends would
the
really
Friends
be private.
put an aegis to it, you know, I mean.
Yeah, maybe add in that portion.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's questions that come up even operationally afterwards. You know, if you look at what some of the senior centers did, like Hadley and Wilbraham, you know, they had, you know, name a room, name
Yeah.
a leaf on the tree, name, you know, and so that would be a way that they could fundraise for operationally, because I know the question has come up in the past. We're gonna build a building and it's gonna sit empty.
There are a lot of things you
So-
could talk about. It's just, should the Friends be introduced as part, in the past, present, and future, should they be introduced as an agent of the future? in
I mean,
terms
they
of fund-
certainly can be introduced as that, whether they will need to speak to that.
Yeah, I don't know
but-
they need to speak.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah, I
probably
think
have
it
to
should
ask
be part of
them
the,
at some point if
Yeah.
they want to be.
certainly at maybe April's meeting or something. I'm
Yeah.
sure they would be,
Yeah, okay.
I think they feel obligated to be
Yeah.
actively participating
Right.
in some kind of fundraising, so. And is there any, Scott, restriction-wise as far as who on boards and committees can
Yeah, we still
participate
don't have
in
an answer to that,
fundraising?
yeah.
So I was able to find an opinion from the Ethics Commission, so that there's a little bit of gray area you gotta be careful about, and
Okay.
obviously avoid any appearances. But people that serve on the committee can fundraise for, you know, municipal projects. Obviously, if you're a volunteer or, I mean, if you're appointed or an employee, you can't do any political fundraising. That's a hard, absolutely no. So, but there are some restrictions, and I can bring those up if
You don't want the restrictions, Scott.
I mean, a lot of it's really just common sense stuff, like you can't exchange anything, you can't, you can't pressure people. But
Okay, that kind of stuff. We can't barter back and forth and things
No.
like that. Make a commitment on behalf of the town.
No arm twisting or any of that.
So none of us on the committee could actively participate in the fundraising process?
That's not what I
Just heard that you could.
that
Well,
just-
we could.
Yes.
But if we're appointed, because we're all appointed, right?
We're all considered municipal employees
Right, oops.
because we're.
I didn't bring it here, so I'm sitting on it.
That rules out the political stuff, I don't know. So the question
Yeah, the
is, what
political
doesn't
stuff
it?
is the really no stuff, but,
Okay.
okay. Oh, boy.
Not making it any clearer to me.
No overpressure, no municipalities plays apply objective standards in all dealings with persons and entities. No favor, okay.
Speak to the legal division attorney of the day.
And this is
Last sentence.
Yeah.
State
I
Ethics
know,
Commission
apparently.
opinion.
And did it say, at the very last line, speak to the attorney of the day?
They always
Just-
do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
What was the last line? Sorry.
Speak to
Speak
the
to-
attorney of the day.
If you need specific advice about, this opinion.
But something was said last time about even we are considered unpaid employees. or
We are.
something.
Right, but
Yeah.
it's,
Right.
as long as we're not coercive and,
We're technically called municipal employees.
right.
So you do not have to be a full-time paid municipal employee. Anyone performing services for a city or town or holding municipal position, paid or unpaid, including full and part-time employees, elected official volunteers, and consultants, is a municipal employee.
And so again, go back to what it said about municipal employees. Is there, was it clear? I mean, I'm just trying to get clarity here. Sorry, here we go, this one. Public employees are prohibited from soliciting anything of substantial value from anyone with whom the public employee has official business dealings. So that would mean, like, if we went to Wickles, who supports the transfer station, or we do this, we shouldn't approach them. Is that something like that?
Yes.
Is that kind of, does that make sense?
Wickles, what is?
And they do our
transfer.
transfer station,
Oh.
the hauler and stuff like that. I'm just as a really small example.
So we're not limited to people we personally do business with, it's people that do business with the town.
I think even more so, people that do business with the town, so there's
That
no,
we should not approach?
that's, I'm just trying to get clarity from
You
Scott on
can,
that.
but you have to be very careful. Also, it's not actually doing it, but it's the perception of
Right.
anything that might be a conflict of interest that you have to avoid.
Okay.
Sorry, my computer's a little acting up.
Anybody clear on that now? Besides me, not?
There's a little fog in my
Yes.
clarity.
So I'm happy to call the Ethics Commission lawyer of the day and see if we can
I'd like
get
to
Who would that
speak to
be?
the lawyer of the day.
whoever it
Is that
is.
an official
I have to say,
person?
I've called
Yeah.
them,
Yep,
and
there's
a
they're
actual
very
number.
responsive.
They answer
Yeah, they are very
Oh, yeah.
responsive.
There's always
Yeah.
a lawyer on duty.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
so,
So maybe Scott, you could just send around that URL too, so we could all take a look at that.
Yep.
yeah, okay.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not sure if Wickles, I mean, it would seem to me that we would want to solicit people
Right.
that know Southampton
I would think so.
and do business here, so I want
Ethics
to.
Commission to do
Yeah,
that.
I know, that's what when I was reading that, it's like, that's why I was trying to get clarity about if you do business with them.
Well, with the Friends of the COA, they might be eligible to solicit
No,
from people that have business with the town. Whereas we can't
As long as they're not people that also serve on boards and committees,
on
on any board and
Anyway,
committee.
for the
And
town.
everybody-
But the
Right.
Friends, if they're...
No, but they could be a member of the Friends and
Right.
on boards and committees, so.
The Friends are all on some other committees though too.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of
they
them
are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the problem with all,
Right, that's-
These are the
anybody on the
five,
committee.
Because the Friends
the
is a
five rules that you have. If you are
committee,
going to go solicit from a business that does have dealings with the municipality, you
Okay,
have to
which
abide by
authorizes.
those.
No overt pressure.
But I mean, if you were, like you just gave the example of the transfer station one, I mean,
Yeah,
they're doing business here, but would have nothing to do specifically with what we're fundraising for.
right.
Right.
I mean, their business isn't tied to anything that,
And we're soliciting a whole bunch of people, not only them.
right.
Right, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out as an example to get a good clarity as to whether, for example,
But the overt pressure is subjective in some way too.
yeah, it's hard to measure.
I mean, if I ask you for some money, some pressure there is some pressure, right? I mean,
Well,
so,
but part of it is, I think you leave it open-ended, you don't ask for a specific amount.
right,
You ask if people, they can volunteer any amount.
consider.
So that's a little bit less
Yeah,
pressure.
the wording
Yeah,
is
you may end up on any fundraising campaigns, have different categories of donors, right?
Yep.
Like even for Celebrate Southampton.
Sure,
We've got the blue ribbon donor and the white ribbon and the red ribbon based on the amount of money they give, right?
Yep.
So you do something similar, I would assume, for a fundraising campaign like this. So, it's, you can say anybody, $5,000 is X and $1,000 Z, or whatever. I mean, you distinguish all those things. So people would know and figure out where they fit in most comfortably
right.
as to what they want to give, right? So it's,
Yeah,
you gotta give them some guidance as to what you're looking for. but
A
you
little
can't
bit of
say-
the recommendation is to hit those
Yeah.
potential large donors first.
Right.
Right.
Kind of secure so we can add on top of the 2.4, which will be part of our,
Yeah.
like Darcy said, put aside future side of the
Yep.
now Southampton Senior Center and put a little how much we've collected to
Yep.
date.
Yeah,
So it
it's
starts with
about our thing.
2.4, yeah. So, okay. Is that,
Well, I mean, we probably, even if we did a thermometer, we could start with reds
that's what I would do.
and then
Yep.
go,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep, because that certainly was the first donation, so
Right,
we
right.
wouldn't want to neglect that.
Right, right.
So,
Yep.
okay. All right, anything else that we need to firm up today? Is that a no?
So, no.
Okay, so next meeting, is 2 weeks, do we have time if we wait 2 weeks? Do we need to meet sooner for any reason? We won't necessarily hear back on the negotiations in a week, so
Gotta go to.
it's 2 weeks makes sense.
You're traveling.
You're traveling away?
I can probably, I'll be driving to see my kids, so
Okay.
maybe I can do it in the car.
Okay.
You just got home.
I know, but then they moved, one
When the
moved down
kids
to
move,
Virginia.
you move.
He's moved to Virginia
Oh,
it's his
geez.
opening day with a minor league team,
Yeah.
so we're going down there anyway, yeah. I knew I was gonna get a hard time
Yeah,
about that.
well, come on.
But I've made every meeting. I just-
Yeah, you have. That's impressive. I
So
give you a lot
April
of
4th
credit.
then?
April 4th?
Yeah, that's
What time?
2 weeks.
What time?
And I'm flexible, I mean, I just asked for today because I have an appointment in the afternoon, but is there a time, I know we're gonna start, well, I don't start pickleball till May, so we're good till now, but,
Gotta work around pickleball.
yes, that's right, volunteer instructor here. So what time is comfortable with everybody? I mean, we can go back to the 12:30, is 11 o'clock better? I mean, it's really what, or any time in between?
Either one for me works.
What's
Seems
that?
like-
I said either one
It
works.
seems like with the various activities going on at the senior center in the morning, that going
Yeah.
back to the noontime might be better.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 12:30.
Or maybe
Okay.
it's better,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
12:30?
So 12:30 is good still? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll get that.
Yeah, mornings are rough.
Would you guys like to do next week?
Yeah, we better do it next week.
So that's the 28th, Thursday,
So do we have a,
is 12.
do we have a motion to adjourn this meeting then?
I'm sorry. Make a motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, all right.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.